Hey, what is up you guys? So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some common myths about snakes or owning pet snakes, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about owning snakes and people just in general have the wrong idea about snakes and they're just very misunderstood and people are very misinformed about them. So I'm here today with Monty, my ball python, and we are going to inform you and tell you all the truths about snakes and debunk all of the myths. So the very first myth about snakes, and if you know a lot about snakes, you're going to think this is absolutely insane, but I do hear this a lot, and a lot of people think that snakes are slimy. And they do give off a kind of slimy look, I guess you could say, in some pictures or whatever, because they are very shiny. But the truth of it is they're very smooth and dry creatures. They are not slimy at all. They don't produce anything that makes them moist in any way whatsoever. Their skin is actually made out of keratin, which is the same exact thing that your nails and your hair is made out of. So the next time you're afraid to touch a snake because you think it's just so gross, you're basically touching the same thing that's on your head and on your fingers. It's the same thing. Monty isn't disgusting, you're disgusting, okay? And the next common myth that I hear a lot is a lot of people think that snakes will lie up next to a person to size them up and see if they're big enough to swallow them. That's completely false. Snakes don't have any sense of measurement. They aren't mentally capable of being like, I wonder if I'm big enough to swallow him. Let me just size up next to him. Snakes can't do that. Snakes tend to have a sense of knowing whether or not they can attack and kill and successfully eat their prey. So they normally wouldn't even waste their time trying to eat a person. And to my knowledge, there aren't even any documented cases of snakes eating a person. Of course, there are plenty of animals who have eaten people, but snakes just aren't one of them because most snakes just aren't capable of eating people because we're much too large for them. That's not to say a snake couldn't kill a person, because obviously a snake could, but usually a snake won't go out and hunt for people. They will only attack if they feel threatened. And the most ridiculous thing is a lot of people ask me if I'm afraid Monty is going to hurt me. And he is literally the smallest constrictor ever, and you just, like, he can't hurt me. Like, what do you mean? I'm just gonna talk more about the misconception of snakes' aggression, because snakes really aren't super aggressive towards humans. Like I just said, they will only hunt down things that they can eat, and if they do attack a person, it's because they feel threatened. And a lot of people have a misconception about snake bites, that snakes have fangs and they hurt and stuff like that. Not all snakes have fangs. In fact, only venomous snakes have fangs. Constrictors don't have teeth, really. They have really teeny tiny teeth, but they're very insignificant and they couldn't hurt you in any way or break skin. And with that being said, only 10% of snake species are venomous. 99% of the snakes you're going to keep as a pet do not have fangs. They're not venomous, so they're not going to be able to actually hurt you. If a ball python like Monty bit you, he just has like teeny tiny teeth that are insignificant. They're not gonna break skin. It's not even gonna hurt. It might startle you, but that's about the extent of it. It's not actually going to hurt you. He can't actually cause any harm to you, so. And the very last thing about snakes is when they're in a situation where they feel threatened, they would much rather escape than try to attack you. If they feel like you're going to hurt them, they would rather run away than try to attack something when they know that they're going to lose. I know it looks like Monty's trying to strangle me right now, but he's really just giving me a snake hug. Thank you, Monty. You're too kind. What else is there? So yeah, with that being said, a snake would not waste their energy to try to chase a human because if anything, they find humans to be predators. So they're not going to attack you, they're gonna try to run the other way. And if you're keeping a snake as a pet, they might kind of nip at you if they feel like they're in danger or they feel threatened in any way. But usually you can tell by a snake's body language whether or not they feel threatened or they might strike. Usually when a snake's going to strike or they feel threatened, they'll kind of make an S shape with their neck, and that just kind of means that they're like getting ready to strike you. And this can usually be avoided just by kind of backing off and giving your snake some space if they feel threatened. You don't want to continue making them feel threatened because then they might try to strike just as a self-defense mechanism. If they feel like they can't run away and you're trying to grab them or something, they might kind of nip at you. But again, a snake bite from something like a corn snake or a ball python, one of your common pet snakes, is very insignificant and it really won't hurt. It's just tiny little teeth that are not going to do anything. Yeah, I hope this helped clear some air about owning snakes and whether or not they are aggressive, because really, if you get a common pet snake, you don't need to worry about them being aggressive or hurting anyone. They really are very simple creatures to take care of, and in my opinion, they are one of the easiest, most docile, and easygoing pets you can have. If anything, like Monty just kind of chills here and doesn't really do anything. I've never had a problem with him trying to bite me or strike at me or anyone for that matter. So definitely I don't understand why people would be afraid of him. Like, my rabbit has scratched people, my bird bites people, like my other animals are much more aggressive, I guess you could say, than my snake. Yet more people are afraid of my snake than anything, which really doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, snakes make really great pets. I highly recommend them, honestly. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I post videos every week. Check out my social media. The links to those will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. And don't forget to say goodbye to Monty.